Imagine this. A young woman standing at the center of whispers, murmurs, and a spectacle barely believable, not because of love, but because of price. The stakes don't just involve hearts. They involve her value measured in herds of cattle, piles of cash, and the prestige of entire clans. This is the unfolding drama around Atong, a woman whose fate has triggered one of the highest stakes marriage competitions ever witnessed in her community. For weeks, two men, one from the Awolian clan and the other from the Abang clan, have been locked in fierce rivalry over her hand. What began as a pledge of 158 cattle and tens of thousands of dollars escalated into a counterbid of 238 cattle and an even larger sum of money. The numbers grew so rapidly that the competition sent shockwaves from Bor County to South Sudanese communities living abroad. What might once have been a ritual of honor and tradition is now at the center of a heated cultural crisis, one many are calling a spectacle of commodification. To understand how it reached this point, it helps to look back at the roots of Dinka marriage customs. In their pastoralist society, cattle are more than livestock. They carry deep cultural meaning, representing wealth, identity, respect, and status. Bride price, usually paid in cattle or their monetary equivalent, is a foundation of traditional marriage. Historically, families exchanged modest numbers of cattle, but over time, especially with economic shifts and diaspora influence, the amounts have soared far beyond what early customs envisioned. In many families, bride price is still viewed as a redistribution of wealth meant to support the bride's relatives, rebuild households impacted by conflict, or strengthen clan bonds. But the traditional meaning is quickly getting buried beneath modern-day spectacle and competition. The case of Adong is not the first to spark debate. Earlier this year, another highly publicized marriage contest caused national outrage after two men battled with extravagant offers that exceeded all cultural expectations. That incident ignited discussions about consent, the age of brides, and the direction South Sudanese traditions are taking in a rapidly changing world. Now, with Adong's situation being widely discussed online, her story has become another flashpoint. Women's rights groups argue that these extravagant competitions risk turning young women into symbols of wealth rather than individuals with dreams, choices, and agency.
I always say that I don't think child marriage is any different from rape because a girl cannot consent to sex. And when you force a girl to get married, you've given someone the right to rape them over and over again. And to think that every year 12 million girls are married off before the age of 18, knowing what I went through as a child bride, is not only heartbreaking, but it's painful to hear those numbers. It's extremely painful. We cannot hold back and expect any meaningful difference until our daughters are able to consent and make that choice when they're at the age that they need to be able to consent fully, when they've had the right amount of education that they need.
They warn that such bidding wars reduce a woman's worth to the size of the offer placed on her, transforming a personal life decision into a public auction.
When we allow children to get married,
everyone loses.
You and me and the entire country.
Child marriage can cause children
to drop out of school.
Child marriage can cause early pregnancy
and health problems.
Child marriage can rob the next generation of the potential
of our entire country.
But together,
we can change this.
We must keep our children in school
because educated citizens strengthen our economy.
We must keep our children healthy
because healthy citizens
strengthen our community.
The choice
is all of ours,
and we ask you
to join us
because we must all stand together.
I choose to support the next generation.
I choose to support South Sudan.
I choose to use my voice
to say
marriage is not for children.
Marriage
is not for children.
Marriage is not for children.
Elders and traditionalists, however, often view rising bride price as a sign of status, honor, and clan pride. To activists, it is the opposite, a form of patriarchal commodification disguised as cultural heritage. The issue becomes even more complicated when diaspora suitors enter the picture. Living abroad, many have access to cash rather than cattle, making it easier to inflate the stakes dramatically. This shift from livestock to money is pushing ancestral customs into modern economic territory, raising questions about how tradition can survive in a world where competitive wealth plays such a powerful role. At first glance, these contests may appear to be colorful cultural displays or symbols of clan prestige, but beneath the surface lie deeper concerns about the rights and well-being of young women. When bride price reaches extreme levels, families under economic pressure may see their daughters as opportunities rather than human beings with aspirations. Even when families support the marriage, intense social pressure, from public gossip, clan expectations, or the allure of prestige, can overshadow genuine consent. Advocacy groups are now working to balance respect for cultural traditions with the urgent need to protect young women from exploitation. They call for reforms that would introduce community guidelines, cap excessive bride prices, and encourage families to value daughters through education, personal achievement, and empowerment rather than through how many cattle they attract. The story of Adong Agudo Patch represents a cultural crossroads, a collision of centuries-old customs, modern economic forces, diaspora influence, and growing awareness of women's rights. What once served to bind families together has, in some cases, transformed into a display of wealth and competition, sometimes overshadowing the woman at the heart of it all. As the world watches the bidding escalate, one question grows louder. Should culture be measured in cattle and cash, or should it be grounded in respect, dignity, equality, and choice? The competition for Adhong's hand is far from over, but the deeper issue is much larger. What is truly at stake is not just her future. It is the future of tradition itself, and whether it will adapt, transform, or fracture under the weight of its own rising price.